Praise the Lord. Welcome to DYD Daily Youth Devotion. I'm Lady Pamela Price. As usual, I'm happy to see that you have tuned in to view the show today. Listen, we have been on a series of Isaac and Jacob, and we're on part 2 of this particular series. And we have titled this one Jacob's Agreement with Laban, because we end up going from story to story, right? So last time we went over Jacob's children. We talked to you about how Jacob had children with who? Leah. That's who is his wife. He had children with also with Rachel. Yes, and he also had children with their maids, with their servants. And so right now, Jacob has 11 sons. And the Bible also mentions that he has one daughter, Dinah. And at this particular point, we see that Rachel, even though she was barren for years, the Lord finally blesses Rachel to have a son. And her son name is what? Joseph. Yes, and watch this. Down the line, we're going to see that Joseph is going to be a great man, that God is going to use him mightily, right? So we see right now he has 11 children, 11 sons, and he has taken the time to go to Laban, who is their father, who he has been living with on their property and all. And he says, listen, send me away. And Laban doesn't want him to go because he recognizes that he has been blessed just because Jacob has been living with him. And he realized, guess what? You have been increasing. I have got a whole lot of things just because you, Jacob, has come here and that the Lord is with you. And watch this, Laban doesn't want him to go anywhere. You remember, Laban does not want him to leave. And so he lays the offer on the table. He said, listen, Jacob say, okay, I tell you what, you give me of your lamb and of your goat. If you would go ahead and give me the ones that are speckled and spotted and those which are brown, then I'll stay a little longer. And that way you'll be able to see what is mine and you'll be able to see what is yours. Now let's pick up with the story at verse 34. 30th chapter, Genesis, the 30th chapter, and the 34th verse. Let's pick up there. And Laban said, oh, that it were according to your words. So he liked what Jacob is saying to him. So he removed that day the male goats that were speckled and spotted, all the female goats that were speckled and spotted, every one that had some white in it, and all the brown ones among the lambs, and gave them into the hands of his son. Then he put 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob, and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flock. Let's pick up at the 37th verse. Now Jacob took for himself rods of green poplar, and of the almond and chestnut trees, peeled white strips in them, and exposed the white which was in the rods. And the rods which he had peeled, he set before the flocks in the gutter, in the water troughs, where the flocks came to drink, so that they should conceive when they came to drink. So the flocks conceived before the rods, and the flocks brought forth streaks, speckled and spotted. Then Jacob separated the lambs and made the flocks face toward the streaks, and all the brown in the flocks of Laban. But he put his own flocks by themselves and did not put them with Laban's flocks. And it came to pass, whenever the strong livestock conceived, that Jacob placed the rods before the eyes of the livestock in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the flocks were feeble, he did not put them in. So the feeble were Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. Thus the men became exceedingly prosperous, and had large flocks, female and male servants, and camels and donkeys. Let's go over this real briefly. So what's happening here is Laban has Jacob is taking care of Laban's flock. But watch this. Remember, he said, I'm going to get the spotted, the ones that are brown, and those are going to be mine. Watch this. Here, Jacob, God has given him wisdom how to increase. God has given him how to cause the goats and the lambs to conceive, and that when they give birth, that they're going to produce after the kind that are what? That has speckled, spotted, and that are brown. And that's exactly what happened. God gave him the wisdom and how to do it. And watch this. And when they conceived, the ones that came out, they were spotted, they were speckled, and they were brown. And they all were, the ones that were strong, it ends up being Jacob's property. Guess what? I'm here to tell you, Laban didn't like that at all. You can imagine now the increase and the prosperity now of Laban is now coming over here to Jacob. God is blessing Jacob. Let's go into the 31st chapter here. Now Jacob heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Jacob has taken away all that was our father's, and from what was our father's, he has acquired all this wealth. He became a wealthy man. If you back up for one verse here, on the 43rd verse, it says, thus the man became exceedingly prosperous and had large flocks, female and male servants, and camels and donkeys. Here Jacob becomes prosperous. I don't know if it was a wise thing for Laban to say, stay here. He should have let him leave, huh? So watch this. And here is Laban's sons talking about Jacob. They're not liking this at all. They're not liking what is going on, not at all. Let's get in. It says here, let's pick up at the second verse of the 31st chapter. It says, and Jacob saw the countenance of Laban, and indeed it was not favorable toward him as before. If you can imagine, here now Laban is treating him funny. He's not treating him nice. That's what the word says. He was not favorable toward him as before. At first, I'm sure he accepted him as a son. He's his blood. He's his nephew. But now he's taking his wealth. He's not liking this at all. Let's pick up. Then the Lord says to Jacob, return to the land of your fathers and to your family, and I will be with you. Here God is telling Jacob, go home now. It's time to go. You have gained wealth while you are here, and it's now time to go. Let's move in. It says here, so Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field to his flock, and said to them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not favorable toward me as before, but the God of my father has been with me. He says, and you know that with all my might I have served your father. Yet your father has deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. But God did not allow him to hurt me. So here Jacob is saying that Laban had changed his wages. What is he talking about? He has changed his pay. He kept switching it. Okay, I'll give you this. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you this. He said he's done it 10 times. Let's go in. 8th verse. If he said thus, the speckled shall be your wages, then all the flock bore speckled. Look at God. Woo. Then it says, and if he said thus, the streaked shall be your wages, then all the flock bore streaked. Whatever Laban said, He said, I tell you what, you're going to get the speckled ones over there. That's going to be your wages. Then they all become speckled. God blessed it to be that way. So God has taken away the livestock of your father and given them to me. He's giving them to me. God did this. Look at God. And it happened at the time when the flocks conceived that I lifted my eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the flocks were streaked, speckled, and gray spotted. Then the angel of the Lord spoke to me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here I am. And he said, Lift your eyes now and see. All the rams which leap on the flocks are streaked, speckled, and gray spotted. For I have seen all that Laban is doing to you. Here, the Lord is having a conversation with Jacob. Watch it. Jacob is going through some things. Sometimes people go through some stuff, but God is saying, I see what Laban is doing. I see that he keeps changing things on you, but I'm with you. I see it. And watch it. God causes his wealth, Laban's wealth, to become Jacob's wealth. He said, I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed the pillow and where you made a vow to me. Now arise, go out of this land and return to the land of your father. He said, you know what? You remember when you left your father's house, and when I visit you, when you saw them angels going up and down on the ladder, I am the God. I'm the one that visits you. Now it's time to go back home. Then Rachel and Leah answered and said to him, Is there still any portion of inheritance for us in our father's house? So they're saying, are we supposed to inherit anything from Laban? Because we are his daughters. Are we not considered strangers by him? For he has sold us and also completely consumed our money. Let's move to the 16th verse. For all these riches which God has taken from our father are really ours and our children's. Now then, whatever God has said to you, do it. Here, Jacob has had a conversation with Leah and with Rachel. Leah's, which is Laban's two daughters. He's having which is his wives. He's having a conversation with them saying, listen, I'm ready to go. Your dad has tricked me and he's changed my wages several times. And you know what? I'm ready to go. Are you all with me? And here they say, we're with you. We are with you, Jacob. We will leave with you. Let's pick up at the 17th verse. And it says, Then Jacob rose and set his sons and his wives on camels. And he carried away all his livestock and all his possessions, which he had gained, his acquired livestock, which he had gained in Padan Aram, to go to his father Isaac in the land of Canaan. He's ready to leave. He is leaving. He's getting his stuff. He's packing up his stuff. He's ready to go. Now Laban had gone to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the household idols that were her father's. Big mistake. So here, what's happening here is Laban has some idols that he's calling his God in his house. Rachel, Jacob's wife, steals them. Let's pick up. And Jacob stole away, unknown to Laban the Syrian, meaning that he left. Here Jacob leaves without telling Laban where he's going. And Jacob stole away unknown to Laban the Syrian, in that he did not tell him that he intended to flee. So he fled with all that he had. He arose and crossed the river and headed toward the mountains of Gilead. Jacob flees from Laban. Let's go in a little deeper. And Laban was told on the third day that Jacob had fled. Finally, somebody told him, third day. Then he took his brethren with him and pursued him for 7 days' journey, and he overtook him in the mountain of Gilead. So he took some people with him, some of his brethren with him, and he went out looking for him for 7 days. He pursued him for 7 days' journey. And finally, he caught up with him and overtook him in the mountains of Gilead. He finally found Jacob. Let's see what's going to happen. But God had came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night and said to him, this is what God said to Laban, be careful that you speak to Jacob neither good nor bad. Watch what you say to Jacob, basically. So Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mountains, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mountain of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, what have you done that you have stolen away unknown to me and carried away my daughters like captives taken with the sword? Why did you flee away secretly and steal away from me and not tell me? For I might have sent you away with joy and songs, with tamarines and harps. And you did not allow me to kiss my sons and my daughters. Now you have done foolishly in so doing. So here he's getting on Jacob, like, why didn't you tell me you was leaving? And if you remember correctly, when Jacob tried to tell him before, he tried to stop him. So he just left this time. And so he said, listen, I probably would have just given you a party. Let's see what happened. It is in my power to do you harm. But the God of your father spoke to me last night saying, be careful that you speak to Jacob neither good nor bad. And now you have surely gone because you greatly long for your father's house. But why did you steal my gods? So here he is. He's saying, listen, I could have threw you a party and now I see you really desire to go back home. He said, but why, when you left, why did you steal my gods? And watch this. Jacob don't know this, but Rachel did it. It's not going to come out yet. Watch this. Then Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said, perhaps you would take your daughters from me by force. He said, listen, I didn't say anything to you because I thought maybe you were going to try to take my wives from me because they're your daughters. He said, with whomever you find your gods, do not let him live in the presence of our brethren. Identify what I have of yours and take it with you. For Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen them. So here is Laban saying, listen, somebody stole my gods. Why did y'all do that? Why y'all steal my idols? And he's saying, listen, you can look through our stuff. Whoever you find your idols with, you can take their life. Well, watch this. Jacob does not know is Rachel was the one who did this. Rachel was the one who took him. So you know what? We're almost out of time, but wasn't this a wonderful lesson? We see that now Jacob has made the move. He's now headed back to his father's place to see Isaac. Did you know Isaac is not dead? Yeah. And next time when I come back, I'm going to tell you how many years Jacob ended up living with Laban or staying in that particular location. Yes, I'm going to tell you. You know it's going to be on a quiz, right? But watch this. We had a great lesson today, and I'm glad you tuned in. But Lady Price is out of time. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Watch this. You can always repeat. You can always go back and look at it. And it's awesome when you follow me in the Word, right? To God be the glory. I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time. God bless you. Parents, thank you so much for allowing your child to watch DYD. It is my heart's desire that every child be ministered to. Parents, I'm going to need your monthly financial support in order for this ministry to continue daily. I just believe by faith that God will lay on your heart an amount that you can consistently give into this ministry. Trust me when I say that the daily investment of the Word of God into your child's life is priceless. I've done this for 21 years and I've seen the results. Will you partner with me? Go to the donation page, and from there, you will be a blessing to this ministry. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.